So what caused you to join Taxi, and what was? Let's address that part first, and then we'll get into why you decided to go after writing for film and television versus radio and records.
Yeah. So, gosh, that's so as I'm transitioning out of I had sold. Let me back up. I'd been a bass player, got married, had children, and got off the road. Started my own company, and I ended up selling that company. And I'd waited all this time to get back into music. Um, and this is 2015, and it's like, I'm not going to write for artists because mostly it's a very much younger crowd that is songwriting with artists, and a lot of them are connected somehow with the artist, either the friends that came up with the artist or they're some of the musicians. And I didn't have those connections anymore. And so I was looking around on the internet, and I saw Taxi, and I researched it. It's like, this looks interesting, and I liked what Taxi offered. I didn't know a whole lot about it at that moment, but I loved what the offer was, and so I checked it out and started submitting songs, and went to the road rally in 2015, and that changed my life. It really
Wow.
did.
We hear that from a lot of people. What about it was life changing? Just the fact that you took this new direction that you hadn't even thought about.
Uh, it, that started me. I was still trying to do the artist thing. Not the artist thing, but writing for artists a little bit. But that road rally, first of all, I'm getting goosebumps. Just when you go into the West End and you see all the like-minded people. I mean, it's like coming home to your family of 2,000 people.
Right.
But it's just such an awesome vibe. And then the classes and the breakdowns of songs, which I wrote from the heart, of course, and I didn't have a lot of training except for, um, um, I didn't have a lot of training, let's put it that way. I listened to what was on the radio at that time and tried to write it. But listening to Robin Frederick and a lot of the other different people, Dean Crepane, Jason Bloom, just talking about this, just tearing each song apart and just breaking it down to what makes it a song. Um, it just blew me away. And then seeing the difference between writing for artists and then what I transitioned into, because it looked so much more fun. Because I like to write different styles.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what got me away from writing for artists, because I just wanted to write different styles.
Well, you certainly do that. And I should mention you've got over 300 songs signed at this point. Now, it's one thing to write a bunch of 90-second instrumental cues that, depending on, if it's orchestral, it takes a long time to do it. If it's like a simple little dramedy thing with a clavinet and pitsy strings or something, not so hard. But songs are tough because you got to write a lyric, and you got to get a vocal done and probably add some background vocals, and the mixes are more difficult. So quite an accomplishment that you've got over 300 songs signed with 21 different publishers and music libraries. You've had some recent national ad placements include commercial with FedEx, another one with Cricket Wireless, TV placements and legacies on the CW, Diary of a Future President on Disney, The Rookie on ABC, Outer Banks on Netflix, and a bunch of stuff going on in Europe and Japan. So clearly you've figured out the program, and I remember I will forever, please don't get upset with this, but I will forever remember you called me or sent me an email. You were really frustrated once. And I always bring this up and you have to remind me what it was.
I know.
But you shouldn't, it didn't bother me because we really like hearing when members have a problem, because if there's something wrong with the system or the particular screener, we do want to know that stuff. And you were not a jerk about it at all. You were almost a little bit hat in hand about it. I could hear the frustration in your voice, but you were being a gentleman, which counts a lot. And I think my advice to you was, be patient, it'll come, whatever my advice was. It wasn't long after that like the first thing happened, and then 3 weeks later the next thing happened. So can you tell people kind of the trajectory of when stuff started like happening and you went, oh, I think I've got it dialed in now?
Yeah, well, I'll be honest. I don't think I'll ever have it dialed in. I don't think anybody does. Because I mean, we're trying to hit a moving target, and
Yeah.
we're doing the best we can. And it's kind of like when you're writing for an artist. If you're writing what's on the radio, you're already a year behind, and it's kind of like the same way with film TV, which is one of the reasons why I don't like to write to what's on TV right now. I try to write to what's streaming, what's popular on the charts, because that'll eventually move over to TV. But anyway, to get to your question, so 2015 is when I joined Taxi, and I submitted a lot, and I took everything to heart, and I took everything personally. That's that's the way I am. I'm not going to apologize for it. I get mad at a screener that doesn't like my song, and then I cool down and try to figure out why they didn't like it for the opportunity, and so that was 2015, 2016. I got Logic in 2016, not this type, but the one that you. Anyway, so I got that in January, and just I mean, I woodshedded big time and tried to figure that out, and I got a little bit better and a little bit better, and it was 2017 before I actually signed my. Let's see, I got one song signed December of 2016. And I signed my first vocal collection in 2017, and that's actually one of the songs. 2 songs off that were used in those commercials, FedEx and Cricket,
Wow.
off my first collection. So, and I stuck to what I knew. I didn't have a lot of sounds, so organic stuff. So I can play guitar, I can play bass. Picked up a ukulele and learned to play that, and that's what that whole album was pretty much based on. Of course, with Logic sounds that were stock in the DAW. So, but that's kind of when the lights started coming on, sometime in 2017. Figuring it out. So about a year and a half.